Jax Harlan wiped the grease from his hands on a rag that had seen better days, the acrid tang of lubricant hanging heavy in the air of Epsilon Station's repair bay. The orbital platform spun lazily around the swirling storms of Vortrex 7, a gas giant that belched plasma flares like an angry god. 6 months Jax had been here, fixing the guts of cargo haulers and fighter drones for creds that barely covered his bunk and synth beer rations. Ex-freighter pilot turned grease monkey life had a way of clipping your wings after one too many close calls with pirate ambushes. Break time, you lot. 20 minutes. The shift boss, a hulking groon with tentacles for arms, bellowed over the hum of welding torches. Jack snagged his meal kit from the locker, a genuine Terran steak slab, vacuum-sealed and shipped from the core worlds at a price that stung his wallet like a nebula wasp. Worth it, though. He trudged to his perch, a rusted gantry overlooking the bay's void-facing viewport, where the gas giant's auroras painted the stars in electric blues and violets. He slumped against a coolant pipe, the metal cool through his oil-stained jumpsuit, sleeves rolled up to reveal forearms etched with faded tattoos from his piloting days, a comet trail wrapping a cracked helmet. He sliced into the steak, the sizzle of reheated juices making his mouth water, and took a bite that transported him back to dusty ranch world he'd hauled cargo across. A soft scuffle yanked him from the reverie. Inches away crouched a tiny figure, her skin a vivid emerald green that glowed faintly under the bay's harsh fluorescence, like bioluminescent moss in a cavern. Spiky tufts of silver hair stuck out in wild spikes around a heart-shaped face, and her amber eyes huge, luminous locked onto his with raw, feral need. She wore scraps of a jumpsuit, patched with foil from discarded ration packs, smeared in the station's metallic grime. Their stares collided in that split-second freeze. Then she pounced, yanking the steak from his fork and scampering off like a shadow in the vents. "Oi!" Jax yelped, lunging halfway up before his brain caught up. She was gone, darting between tool crates and vanishing into the labyrinth of conduits. His crewmate, a wiry avian named Scree with feathers like rusted wire, flapped over on Taloned feet. "What's the racket, Harlan?" "Spacer ghosts." Jax rubbed his jaw empty-handed. "Just some pint-sized thief nicked my lunch." Scree's beak clicked in amusement. "One of those vent rats again?" Station SEC's too busy chasing smugglers to bother with him. "Want me to squawk for patrol?" Jax peered into the gloom where she'd fled, a pang twisting in his gut, not anger, but something sharper, like regret for startling a wild thing. "Nah, let's slide." Scree tilted his head, one eye swiveling independently. "Softcore, eh? Those rats are multiplying. Command should fumigate the lower decks." "She's a kid, Scree." Jack shot back, sharper than he meant. The avian ruffled his plumes in mock surrender. "Whoa, pilot boy's got a heart under all that oil. Suit yourself." As Jax trudged back to the grind of torque wrenches and plasma cutters, hunger gnawing at his belly, those amber eyes haunted him wide as saucers, brimming with a desperation that echoed his own rougher days scraping by on frontier runs. 3 shifts later, Jax was elbow-deep in a drone's thruster array, cursing a stripped bolt, when a glint of green caught his eye in the underbelly of the station's recycle chute, a maintenance crawl space snaking through the habitat rings. He wiped sweat from his brow and slithered in after it, his broad frame scraping against the grates, the confined space reeking of ozone and recycled air. Quiet as a ghost in Null G, he rounded a bend and snagged a slender ankle. "Ever hear that spacers don't take kindly to light-fingered passengers?" he drawled, voice low and steady, like coaxing a skittish engine to life. The girl went rigid, then twisted slowly, those amber orbs flooding with tears that sparkled like liquid gold on her green cheeks. Her frame was fragile, bird-boned under the rags, trembling like a faulty stabilizer. "Pee, please. I didn't mean—" She stammered an accented galactic standard, her voice a chime of wind through crystal chimes. Jax eased back, keeping his grip light. "Name's Jax. What's yours, thief?" "Kira," she whispered, swiping at her face with a grubby hand. "Kira Voss. No, just Kira." He crouched in the tight space, matching her level. Parents teach you to swipe from strangers, Kira? The tears spilled freer. No parents. The void sickness took them cycles ago. Left me in Lyra. She's little, only 2 cycles. Coughing blood can't stop. The stake, it was for her. Jax's throat tightened, the words landing like a hull breach. You're on your own, then. She bobbed her head, silver spikes quivering. Vexery like us, not wanted on Epsilon. Command says we're bad luck, carriers. No jobs, no rations. I scavenge. Jax studied her, skin too sallow under the glow, ribs like ladder rungs. Will you hold up? Kira bit her lip, distrust warring with exhaustion. Want to help? He added softer. No bounty on my head. Hesitant, she pointed aft. Old cargo pod, level 7, sealed off. No one checks the derelicts. Jax nodded, hauling himself out and offering a hand. Come on, Kira. Let's rustle up some real grub for you and your sis. Not pilfer this time. A flicker of a grin cracked her fear, turning her from feral to fragile pretty, those amber eyes lighting like distant suns. You mad about the stake? He chuckled, pulling her up. Call it docking fees. You owe me a story instead. As they wove through the station's thrumming corridors past humming recyclers and alien traders haggling in neon-lit markets, Jax felt an itch under his skin, like the pull of uncharted hyperspace lanes. Maybe it was her grit, that spark in the eyes of someone who'd stared down the black and blinked last. Whatever, his solo orbit had just gained passengers. The derelict cargo pod clung to the station's underbelly like a barnacle on a hull, its airlock jury-rigged with scavenged seals. Jax followed Kira through the hiss of equalizing pressure, the space inside a dim nest of salvaged foam mats and flickering glow strips. In one corner, a bundle shivered under a threadbare thermal sheet. Lyra, Kira cooed, kneeling. Brought a friend. He won't hurt. The sheet stirred, revealing a miniature Kira, bright green skin dulled by pallor, silver wisps framing a face pinched with pain, amber eyes hazy with fever. A wet cough rattled from her tiny chest. 3 cycles she's been like this, Kira murmured, stroking her sister's brow. Traded my last glow crystal for cough syrup, but it's shadow water. Does nothing. Jax set down the ration packs, protein bars, nutrient paste, even a hydro fruit he'd bartered from a vendor, and knelt by the tot. Hey, Squirt. I'm Jax. You got a fighter's grip there. Lyra's eyes focused blearily, a weak gurgle escaping. You're orange, she lisped, tiny fingers poking his freckled arm. Jax barked a laugh. Guilty. And you're green as envy. Think you can handle some mush. As Kira mashed the paste and coaxed it into Lyra, Jax scoped the pod. Watertight enough, but drafty vents whistled cold from the void, and the med scanner he'd palmed from work blinked warnings. Low oxygen, radiation spikes. How long you squatting here? Full cycle, Kira said, voice steely as she wiped Lyra's chin. After Ma and Pa, Command wanted to split us. Lyra to the creche vats, me to scrap labor. Wouldn't let him, Vexery Young, stick together. Jax got it. The creche vats were glorified orphan tanks, churning out drone workers for the station's elite. He'd seen him on a dozen outposts, kids emerging hollow-eyed. Wise dodge, but this tin can's no nursery for a Weezer. Kira's gaze sharpened. Vexery ain't welcome since the quota wars. Commander's edicts, emissions controls they call him, rounding up the undocumented for off-station relocation. Relocation? Jax echoed, brow furrowing. Kira leaned in, voice a hiss. Reprocessing plants on the rim worlds. Whispers say it's worse. Forced labor in the gas mines. No air, no light. Her amber eyes darted to the pod's viewport, where Vortrex 7 roiled like judgment. We stay hidden, Jax, or they drag us to the dark. A low thrum vibrated the deck. Patrol drones, their sensor whine probing the lower levels. Frack, Jax muttered, cracking the pod's outer cam feed on his wrist pad. 3 command skiffs hovered outside the derelict cluster, armored figures in void suits rappelling onto hulls. They're sweeping, Kira breathed, scooping Lyra close. The tot whimpered, sensing the spike in fear. Jax's pulse kicked into overdrive, old pilot instincts firing. Grab the essentials. We're ghosting. Ow! Drones at every hatch. He flashed a rogue's grin, the kind that had gotten him court-martialed once. Not every. These old pods got emergency dumps straight to the service rings. I flew blockade runners. I know the blind spots. Kira stuffed a satchel while Jax bundled Lyra against his chest, her heat seeping through his jumpsuit like a warning flare. The kid burned hotter than a thruster coil. This way, he murmured, popping a false panel to reveal a conduit chute, narrow as a coffin. Kira slid in first. Jax passed Lyra down, then wedged after, sealing the hatch. They tumbled in zero-G silence, the chute's emergency grav plates cushioning the drop to the service deck below. Boots echoed above, command grunts breaching the pod. Too late. They spilled into the service ring, a warren of pulsing pipes and flickering holoscreens, the station's veins. Jax led them to a forgotten utility lock. His mechanics override chirped green. Warehouse Bay 4. My shift spot got overrides. They crossed the exposed gantry just as shouts crackled over comms from the derelicts. Inside the bay, amid crates of spare parts, Jax barricaded a foreman's nook. Crash here till dawn cycle. No patrols hit this deep. As Kira nestled Lyra on a pallet of insulation foam, Jax clocked the fallout. Aiding undocumented vexery? That was a one-way ticket to the brig, or worse, decompression without a suit. But watching Kira hum a lilting vexery lullaby, her green fingers gentle on her sister's fevered brow, regret was a ghost that didn't haunt. Thanks, Kira whispered, amber gaze lifting. You could have spaced us. Jax shrugged, leaning against a crate. Pilots don't ditch cargo mid-jump, especially not the small stuff. Why us? You don't know vexery from vapor. He pondered, then smirked. Core World sang, the stars don't care who you are. They just test if you've got spine. Kira's lips quirked, a spark in the dim. You spacers are odd, Jax Harlan. All fire and no fear. Fear's fuel, kid. Keeps the engines hot. Already his mind plotted vectors. Med supplies, safe berths, away off this spinning trap. Lyra's coughs worsened through the rest cycle, hacking like shrapnel in her lungs. Her green skin mottled to a sickly olive, breaths whistling shallow. Void plague, Jax said, palmed her forehead scalding. Ain't just a cough. Kira's face fractured. Ma called it star rot. Eats the lungs from inside. Pa went quick. Ma lingered, begging for vexery lung moss. Command hoards it. Says it's restricted flora for non-humans. Cure. Yeah, but. She faltered. Station Core's biovault. Locked tighter than a black hole. Commandant Reyes rations it for loyal species only. Jax synced his pad to the station's shadownet, pulling specs on Starrot. Grim reading. Untreated, Lyra had days, maybe. Then no options. We cracked the vault. Impossible, Kira protested, cradling her sister. Biometrics, drone swarms, the works. Ways in every lock, Jax cut in. Gimme a tick. He patched an encrypted line to an old contact. Rin, a sly teller and info broker who'd owed him since a smuggling run gone sideways. Harlan, your ugly mug on my line? What's the burn? Need vault blueprints, Rin. Bio vault, level 1. Silence, then a chuckle like grinding gears. Sick, eh? Or stupid? Friends, kid. Vexery. Starra. Rin's tone sobered. Heard the sweeps? Reyes is purging him, calling it biohazard quarantine. Words out, you're tangled. Jax's grip tightened. Blueprints. Make it square. Your vintage quorum stash. All of it. Done. Send them. Back inside, Kira was murmuring vexery chants over Lyra, a melody like distant pulsar beats that tugged at Jax's chest. Got ingress, he said, but Lyra needs a sitter while we raid. I'm not leaving her. Kira's eyes blazed. And you know the moss we need. No choice, Spark. I got a line on a dock. Half a cycle later, they rapped on a nondescript hatch in the trader's loop. It slid open to a stout human woman, late 40s, salt and pepper buzz cut, lab coat over a pistol holster. Jax Harlan, she drawled, scarred lip curling. Trouble's your co-pilot, I swear. Mira Voss. Always a joy. Her eyes flicked to Kira, then the bundled Lyra. In quick. Smells like SECs on your tail. Dr. Voss, no relation to Kira's dropped surname. Jax hoped, probed Lyra with a field scanner. Star rot mid-stage. Needs Vexery lung moss infusion. Stat. Can I stabilize? Hour tops. Jax nodded. Till we snag it. Myra's gaze pinned him. Biovault? Reyes's fortress. Yup. She snorted, rigging in foredrip. Idiot run. Kid stays. You two ghost careful. As they geared up, Jax in his jumpsuit, Kira in an oversized enviro suit. Kira knelt by Lyra, whispering vows. Jax's jaw set. He'd seen too many runs end in cold storage. Not this one. Why all in? Kira asked outside, amber eyes searching. For ghost you just met. Jax mulled, then grinned crooked. Spacer's code. You don't leave a flare in the black unanswered. That's it. Code. The air hummed with unvoiced currents. Nah, got a soft spot for green-eyed firecrackers. Her cheeks flushed a brighter lime. Vexery, say stars weave fates in the glow. Yours is tangled with ours, Jax Harlan. Flattery'll get you moss. He checked his multi-tool, stunner tucked in a seam. Let's crack a vault. The bio-vault tunnels wormed under the station's core, lit by biolum strips that pulsed like veins, air thick with sterile chill and faint floral notes. Jax and Kira ghosted per Rin's holos, mag boots silent on the grating. Vault's one level up. Jax breathed, pad glowing. Via the cryo-lift shaft. Kira nodded, silver spikes flattened under her hood, suit baggy but her steps sure. They hit the shaft clean, Jax boosting her up before climbing, muscles burning from the hall. Prying the access doors, they slipped into a sterile corridor, vault doors looming like judge's gavel. Lighter guard than build, Jax noted, edging along. Night cycle. Most species crash harder than humans. The Vexery Flora wing hummed quiet, but the lock panel blinked red. Retinal scan, gene key. Frack. Authorized only. Footfalls echoed. Sharp, deliberate. Jax yanked Kira into an alcove, body shielding hers, heart thumping against her back. A figure rounded in, tall, lithe, skin a deep sapphire blue that shimmered like oil on water, cropped raven hair framing sharp features, violet eyes piercing the gloom. Her Envirotech jumpsuit hugged, curves honed by 0G. Badge reading Senior Engineer Ilara Cade. Vexery markings traced her collar. High status. I sense company, she purred, voice like silk over steel. Step out, or I trigger silent alarm. Jax emerged, Kira peeking. Easy. No harm meant. Ilara's violet gaze widened at the human. A core worlder in restricted biospace. Lung moss, Kira blurted. For my sister. Stara. Ilara's poise cracked, recognition dawning. The vent orphans from the sweeps. And you're aiding. Gonna rat us? Jax tensed, hand near stunner. Instead, Ilara's lips curved, a smile like a plasma arc, dazzling, dangerous. Ilara Cade, she said, keying the panel. And I've awaited fools bold enough to challenge Reyes. Inside the vault, flora bloomed in cryotubes. Luminescent vines, spore pods. Ilara harvested moss with deft hands. Documenting Reyes's quotas, she explained. Withholding Vexery meds. Faking contamination, logs for deportations. Why torch your career? Her hands stilled. Cousin purged last cycle. Denied rebreather mods for non-standard lungs. Some deaths demand payback. Handing the moss vial, her fingers grazed Jax's. A spark, literal, her blue skin humming faint static. He caught her scent. Ozone and wild orchids. This heals her, Ilara told Kira. But bolt this station. Reyes greenlights the purge at dawn. Vexery to the gas rigs. Purge. Kira paled. Mass shuttles to Vortrex depths. I'm extracting data to leak to the Alliance. Alarms wailed sudden, red lights strobing. Breach detected. Ilara snapped. My override flagged. Move. Back to the shaft, but bulkhead slammed. My lab. Emergency vent, Ilara led to a sleek quarters. Holoscreens aglow with schematics, a Neuralink chair. She yanked a drive, downloading. Lock override in 4 mics. Jax barred the door. As Alara brushed past for a go-bag, their bodies collided, her warmth electric against his. Violet eyes met brown, air crackling. Never figured a human for rebel spine, she murmured. Never met a Vexery who lit up like a shorted wire. Jax rasped, voice gravel. Tension shifted, urgent to intimate. Alara closed the gap, blue skin flushing indigo. Vexery lore, sparks forge in the void's heart. The kiss ignited. Her lips cool fire, tasting of storm and spice. A current zipping where they touched, sinking pulses. Jax's hands mapped her back, her nails raking his scalp. Alarms blared reminder. Passage, Alara gasped, breaking. Trader decks. Meet at your hole up, 90 mics. Jax memorized chords. As they poised at the vent, Alara gripped his arm, Violet intense. You reignite what's dimmed. Fight smart, Harlan. She kissed him fierce, brief lightning, then vanished into shadow. Jax touched lips, tingling, before Kira tugged. Door. Dr. Voss's hatch side opened to Jax and Kira. Moss vial clutched. Lyra dozed, coughs eased by stabilizer. Cutting it fine, Mira grunted infusing. Lungs sealing, full mend in cycles. Jax paced, viewport scanning for Alara. Streets, decks, buzzed empty under curfew drones. She'll dock, Kira soothed. 80 mics in, a coded knock. Cargo craving a pilot's touch. Jax cracked it. Alara, civvies clinging like second skin. Violet eyes locking his smile sly. Slipped the net. Bio decks in meltdown. She froze at shadows, stirring. 3 Vexerian cloaks, faces etched with circuit tattoos. Engineer Cade. The lead growled. Lean female with crimson streaks in blue hair. We've tracked your signal. Syl, Alara nodded. Ow! Netwebs, Syl said, Violet eyes narrowing on Jax. A human? Tangled mess. He sparked the breach, Alara defended. Save the orphans. Syl appraised Jax, suspicion thick. Cell doesn't loop outsiders. Lucky I'm no loop not. Jax quipped easy. Mira cleared throat from Mednook. Tots perking, moss taking. Syl softened fraction. Heard of the Weezer. That's why we ghosted. But core for the data dump to Alliance. Secured, Alara affirmed. Kids first, though. Can't. A male cellmate cut. Reyes fast tracks purge, dawn strike. Chill rippled. Jax's mind vectored. Transport out in 2 hours? Slot the kids, dock Alara. Syl balked. Priorities data. Cade's tag could snag us. Not sans her, Jax stated flat. Alara's hand on his arm. Warm surge. Jax no, all or null. Standoff hung. Syl relented. Fine. Essentials only. We roll. Scree to crowd. Cycled with all species. Built this spin. Can't abide kids gasped for skin. Human chorus assented. Then aliens joined. My trade partner Vexery vanished post-med scan. Crewmate 2. Testimonies cascaded, fear fractured. Thorn to Reyes, ashen. Policies boomerang, sir. Mutiny. Reyes snarled. Order. Guards wavered. Eyes split. Spire screens flared. Alliance seal. Silence dropped. Rep. Epsilon citizens. Reviewed quota violations. Equal access breaches. Reyes suspended. Thorn interim. Feed to Alara. Lyra perky in arms. Jax's heart soared. Detainees free. Probe team in 12 cycles. Reyes Hall dazed. Chaos bloomed. Thorn freed humans. Detained commandant. Mid-fray, Jax Kira swarmed by thanks. Now, Kira clutched hand. Jax grinned. Alara Lyra, homecoming. 3 cycles on. Launch bay thrummed as Alliance shuttle docked. Jack's heart raced. Hatch. Alara, Lyra scampering. Tot launched. Jax. He scooped, twirl laugh. Kira piled in, trio tight. Alara closed, Violet shimmering. Jax drew, kiss eloquent of voids crossed. Orbit secured, he breathed. Orbit, she echoed, testing. Ours. Strolled decks under Thorn's equity. Alara briefed. Reyes trials inbound. Alliance mandates hybrid council. Hand squeeze. They tap me for infralead. Kids. Smile bloomed. Shared custody, your sign? Jax halted, facing full. Proposing a crew. Engineer. Crews formed, glancing at Kira Lyra, vending glow crystals. Officialize. He pulled close, her fit perfect despite blues greens. Affirmative. Kiss sealed. Jax mused path. Swipe stake. Bold orphan. Tyrant toppled. Sparking engineer. Chaos birthkin. Kira tugged. Vendors got stakes. Terran real. Laugh boomed. Origin recalled. Omi one co-pilot? Amber twinkled. Reckon I do. As family. Human. Vexery. Kin by forge. Ambled. Jax sent stellar rightness. Hearts chart odd lanes, but true north calls. Jax Harlan leaned against the bulkhead of the newly repurposed habitat ring on Epsilon Station. The hum of revitalized life support systems vibrating through his boots like a distant heartbeat. It had been 3 cycles since Elder Thorne's ascension to interim command, and the station, once a cold, stratified spin of quotas and quiet cruelties, now pulsed with tentative renewal. Mixed species crews laughed in the vendor alleys. Vexery traders hawked luminescent crystals alongside human synth meat carts, and even the grumbling Grun mechanics shared tools without a tentacle twist of suspicion. But Jax knew better than most. Peace in the black was like a faulty seal. Hold it too tight, and it burst. Kira skipped ahead, her emerald skin catching the recycled sunlight from the atrium lamps, silver spikes bouncing as she tugged Lyra's hand. The toddler's cough had faded to a faint echo, her amber eyes wide with wonder at the bustling market. Alara walked beside Jax, her sapphire form a study in graceful tension, violet eyes scanning the crowds with the precision of an engineer plotting thrust vectors. Her hand brushed his, sending that familiar static spark dancing up his arm, a reminder of bonds forged in cryo chambers and stolen kisses amid alarms. Stake first, Jax declared, nodding toward the vendor stall where a grizzled Terran exile flipped slabs on a plasma grill. The air sizzled with savory char, a far cry from a nutrient paste that had sustained him through lean halls. Then we scout that new observation deck Thorne promised. Kids earned a view of the storms. Kira spun, grinning like she'd just outmaneuvered a drone patrol. With the glow vines? Lyra loves them. They light up when she giggles. The tot cooed agreement, clutching a pilfered glow crystal that pulsed in rhythm with her tiny breaths. Alara's lips curved, a rare softness cracking her analytical facade. Thorne's reforms include Vexery flora integration. The vines will thrive here. Nitrogen levels stabilized last cycle. Jax chuckled, slinging an arm around her waist, ignoring the curious glances from passersby. Human Vexery pairings were still novelty fodder for station gossip, but after the Purge's fallout, novelty beat notoriety. Always the specs, love. Can't a spacer just enjoy the shine? Her flush deepened to indigo, and she leaned into him, the contact humming with unspoken promises. Specs make the shine possible, Harlan. Without them, we'd all be drifting wrecks. They claimed a table under the atrium's Fostar canopy, the vendor delivering platters heaped with steak, hydro veggies, and a side of spiced lumen rice that glowed faintly under UV. Kira dove in with the enthusiasm of someone who'd once bartered scraps for survival, while Lyra mashed her portion into abstract art on her plate. Jax savored his bite, the juiciness an anchor to simpler orbits, before the stolen steak, before the vault raid, before Alara's kiss had rewritten his flight log. But as laughter rippled around the table, Jax's wrist pad chirped, a priority ping from Miravas's clinic. He glanced at it discreetly, brow furrowing. Doc's got to consult. Says it's urgent. Something about residual quota logs. Alara's eyes sharpened. Reyes's ghosts. Thorne's audit team flagged anomalies yesterday. Unfinished business. Kira paused mid-chew, amber gaze flicking up. Like the ones that got Ma and Pa. The fake contamination stamps. Her voice held that old edge, the one that spoke of nights huddled in derelict pods. Jax reached across, ruffling her silver spikes. Old code, kid. We're rewriting it. But the ping nagged a loose bolt in his gut. Reyes was in cryo-lockdown awaiting Alliance trial. But tyrants left echoes, subroutines in the system, loyalists in the shadows. After the meal, Kira insisting on paying with a crystal she'd found, Jack suspected a sleight of hand from her vent rat days. They wandered to the observation deck. The platform jutted like a needle from the station's spine, viewports spanning the roiling majesty of Vortrex 7. Plasma storms lashed the gas giant's bands in electric fury, auroras bleeding into the void like spilled fuel. Lyra pressed her nose to the glass, breath fogging it in delighted puffs, while Kira traced storm patterns with a finger, narrating vexury myths of star beasts devouring worlds. Alara stood at Jax's side, her hand in his, static weaving between their fingers. Beautiful, isn't it? Chaotic equilibrium. He nodded, pulling her closer. Like us. Thought I'd end my days wrenching drones, not playing family man to green gremlins and a blue spark plug. She turned, violet eyes locking his with that intensity that still short-circuited his thoughts. Regrets. Nah. Best detour I ever flew. Their kiss was slow, the storm's rumble underscoring the quiet thunder between them. A vow renewed in the face of infinity. But the idol shattered with a station-wide chime. Alert! Alliance delegation inbound. All personnel to muster points for integration briefing. Jax's pad lit again. Mira, get to clinic now. Found something in the logs. It's bigger than quotas. Alara's face hardened. Reyes didn't act alone. The purges were funded off-station backers. Kira scooped Lyra, determination etching her young features. We go. Family sticks. The clinic nestled in the trader's loop, a converted cargo hold now humming with hybrid medtech. Human neural scanners jury-rigged to vexury bio-glow analyzers. Mira Voss bustled from a holoterm, her buzz-cut disheveled, scarred lip twisted in a scowl. Took you long enough, Harlan. And bring the spark. Alara, your creds will help parse this. She waved them to a secured nook, screens flickering with encrypted data streams. Spill, Jack said, settling Lyra on an exam stool with a toy drone. Mira synced her pad, projecting a web of transaction logs, creds flowing from Epsilon's coffers to shadowy RimWorld accounts, tagged with code phrases like Purity Protocol and Species Safeguard. Reyes was the face, but the wallet? Syndicate, Nebula Cartel. They're the ones pushing anti-vexury edicts across the rim. Quotas here were a test run for wider relocations. Gas mines, sure, but whispers of full-spectrum wipes. Alara leaned in, violet eyes narrowing as she cross-referenced. These vectors, they're routing through unregistered relays. Pirate lanes. Her fingers danced over the hollow, pulling threads. Look, funds tied to a black market bioweapon lab on Draken 4. Starra wasn't natural, it was seeded. Kira gasped, clutching Lyra tighter. Ma, Pa. They said it came from the vents, but her voice cracked, old wounds reopening. Jax's fists clenched, pilot's fire igniting. Cartels playing God with plagues? Thorn needs this yesterday. Mira nodded grimly. Alliance delegation's your vector. But there's a snag. The lead rep? Cartel plant. I flagged it in the pre-brief, but Thorn's too green, thinks it's diplomacy. Alara's skin pulsed indigo, anger's hue. We intercept. Leak the logs pre-muster. But as they plotted, the clinic's outer hatch hissed, unannounced. Jax's hand dropped to his stunner, concealed in his jumpsuit. Instrode a figure cloaked in neutral grays, tall, hooded, with the subtle iridescence of a chameleon skin suit. The hood fell back, revealing a face Jax knew from one at Holos. Zara Voss, Myra's estranged sister, a ghost from Jax's smuggling days. Her skin was pale as station alloy, eyes steel gray, cropped hair a stark white from neural implants. Mira, she said, voice flat as Nulgi, heard you were digging graves. Need a shovel. Myra's scar twisted deeper. Zara, last I heard, you were cartel enforcer, not family reunion. Zara's gaze swept the room, lingering on Alara and the girls with clinical detachment. Reformed. Mostly. Alliance sent me to audit, off books. Your logs ping my net. Cartel's deeper than you think. They've got hooks in Thorn's council. Jack stepped forward, stunner half drawn. And you're the cure? Last we crossed, you spaced my co-pilot for a bad deal. Zara's lips quirked. no warmth. That was business. This is survival. Cartels cooking a big one. Eclipse protocol. Bioagent, airborne, targets non-human DNA. Epsilon's ground zero for deployment. Delegations cover to seed it. Lyra whimpered, and Kira hushed her, amber eyes blazing accusation. Alera's analysis snapped. The relays, their delivery vectors. Muster points are perfect dispersal hubs. Chaos coalesced in a plan. Zara's insider access to the delegation shuttle. Alera's engineering hacks to spoof the logs. Myra's med clinic as safe house. Jax's piloting for exfil if it blew. Kira insisted on comms relay. I'm small, Vince in my lane, while Lyra stayed bunkered with a sedative patch. As the muster loomed, tension crackled like pre-jump static. Zara cornered Jax in the corridor. You trust me? After Kale, his lost co-pilot, he met her gray stare. Don't, but I trust the void to punish liars. Screw us, and it will. The central spire thrummed with assembled crews, 1,000 strong, a mosaic of species under the vast dome. Thorn, his Zarathian robes swirling, addressed the throng from a podium, holographic alliance seals floating above. Integration begins today. Epsilon is beacon, but Jax's earpiece buzzed, Kira from her vent perch. Eyes on rep. Zara's mark. Implant glow under collar. Shuttle bay's hot. Drones arming vials. Alera, at a service console, whispered. Log spoofed. Thorn's pad just lit. He's stalling. Zara moved like smoke through the crowd, her chameleon suit blending with the press. Jax shadowed, heart pounding in sync with the station's pulse. The rep, a slick Andorian with 2 perfect scales, signaled subtly, and 2 aides peeled toward the shuttle bay. Go. Jax hissed into comms. He broke into a jog, weaving through the masses, stunner hot against his thigh. Bay access sealed behind security fields, but Alera's hack chirped green on his pad. Inside, the shuttle loomed, sleek black, cartel mods evident in the underbelly vents. Zara was already there, wrestling an aide into a choke, vial shattering in a hiss of inert foam. Thank the stars for fail-safes. The second aide lunged, hyponeedle gleaming. Jax tackled, the impact jarring his ribs. Eclipse, he growled, pinning the Andorian. Talk. The aide spat scales. Too late. Seeds in the air recyclers. By dawn, Epsilon's a tomb for your greens. Alarm klaxons wailed, breach detected. Jax zip-tied the aide, snagging the remaining vials. Zara yanked him up. Recycler's main, level 9. Your girls. Secured. Kira's venting a purge. They sprinted conduits, station quaking as Thorn's voice boomed evacuation protocols. Kira's voice crackled. Vents clear, vials in medlock. But shadows moving. Cartel ghosts. Jax's blood-iced. Lyra. Back at the clinic, Mira barricaded with Lyra, but the hatch buckled under plasma cutters. 3 heavies in void black armor. Visors blank. Harlan's brats first. One grunted, breaching. Mira fired her med pistol. Stun burst felling one, but the others swarmed. Jax burst in, stunner blazing, dropping the lead. Zara covered, her implant-linked pistol whispering silenced rounds. The last heavy lunge for Lyra's cradle. Kira dropped from a ceiling vent, crystal shard slashing his hose, vacuum suck choking him out. Panting, Jax scooped Lyra, safe, stirring. Good drop, co-pilot. Kira beamed, silver spikes wild. Alera's calm. Recyclers purged, agent neutralized. Thorn's got the reps in custody. But Zara's face paled, scanning her pad. Not over. Eclipse was decoy, real payloads in the storm probes. Cartels launching from auxiliary bay. Orbital strike vector. Vortrex's magnetospheral amplify the dispersal. The auxiliary bay clung to Epsilon's ass end, a forgotten spur for junk haulers. Jax hot-wired a cargo skiff, old piloting reflexes firing as Zara fed cords. Alera rode shotgun, hacking probe overrides mid-flight. 3 birds inbound, warheads laced. Kira monitored from clinic. Lyra's fine, Myra's locking down. The void yawned black, Vortrex's storms a maelstrom below. Jax's hands dance controls, skiff weaving probe fire, blast blooming silent in vacuum. Lock 1, override firing. Alara crowed, her hack frying a warhead's guidance. Zara picked off another with tractor beams, but the third veered evasive, magnetics pulling it toward the giant's fury. Ram it, Jax growled, throttling pursuit. Too hot, storm will shred us. Alara's eyes met his, violet fierce. Not without fight. Her fingers flew, final hack bridging to the probe's core. Collision loomed, alarm screaming hull stress. Jax yanked yoke, skiff grazing the probe. Alara's code uploading like a virus. The warhead stuttered, veering wild into Vortrex's bands, detonating in a plasma flower that lit the void. Cheers erupted over comms. Thorn's voice, threat neutralized. Epsilon stands. Debris cooled. They docked shaky, crew piling out to embraces. Thorn clasped Jax's shoulder. Alliance owes you a fleet. But Zara lingered, gray eyes unreadable. Cartels crippled here, but rims their nest. Eclipse was test, bigger storms brew. She nodded to Alara. Spark plugs got my frequency. If you vector my way. Alara's indigo pulse steadied. Allies Voss. No more ghosts. Cycles blurred into stability. Alara headed station infra, her designs greening the rings with vexury gardens. Jax traded wrenching for flight instruction, teaching Kira evasive maneuvers in sim pods, her natural flair earning grins. Lyra toddled into mischief, her glow chasing shadows. Mira mended the wounded, Zara vanishing into Alliance shadows but pinging updates. Cartel fractures, trials looming. Yet voids whisper. 6 cycles post, Jax's pad lit. Anonymous relay. Harlan. Loose end. Draken 4. Eclipse 2 deploys dawn. Coordinates attached. Payback for Kale. Zara's ghost. Or trap. He showed Alara, her face set. We end it. Family vectors together. Kira overheard. Amber blazing. I'm in. Vince taught me traps. Lyra, oblivious. Hug his leg. Zoom. Draken. 4 loomed. A jagged rock orbiting a pulsar. Cartel's bioforge hidden in canyons. Jax piloted a borrowed Alliance scout. Cloaked, nimble. Alara on sensors. Kira on drone swarm. Mira patching from Epsilon. Zara rendezvoused in a dust-choked hangar. Her white hair, dusted rust. Kale's marker, real. Cartel boss, Vexer Kane, greenlit it all. He's here, prepping fleet-wide seed. Infiltration, cloaks through canyons, pulsar winds howling. Kira's drones scouted, labs bubbling plague vats. Kane's throne in neural spire overlooking the abyss. He's jacked in, Alara whispered, hacking perimeter. Mind link to the net, controls dispersal sats. Jax's stunner hummed. We unplug him. Breach. Alarms wailed as they stormed the spire. Kane's guards. Augmented brutes, swarming. Jax dance fire. Stunner dropping 2. Zara's precision calls 3. Kira vented micro-drones. EMP bursts frying implants. Alara reached the throne. Kane, a hulking hybrid of flesh and chrome, eyes glowing data streams. Harlan, he rasped, neural whips lashing. You stole my test. Now, claim the storm. Duel ignited, whips cracking, Jax dodging with pilot grace. Zara flanked, pistol barking, Kane's armor shrugged it. Alara jacked in counterhack, her violet glow sinking with the spire's pulse. Hold him, Pain lanced, whip scoring Jax's side, but he closed, stunner to temple. For Kale. Burst, Kane slumped, link severed. Sats purged, labs torched. Evac under pulsar fire, scout limping to jump. Back on Epsilon, scars mended, Jax proposed under the glow vines. Ring of vexury crystal, human alloy. Alara's yes sparked eternal. Kira crew chiefed their first family haul. Lyra's laughter lit the lanes. Year spun. Epsilon bloomed. Cartel crumbled under trials. Jax and Alara's orbits wove tighter. Sparks to flame, voids to home. In the black, fates tangle unexpected but true north? That's family, forged in fire and found in the glow. The twin stars of Arids hung low, bathing the alien world in a violet twilight that shimmered across the crystalline spires of the Palace of Varieties. Ryan Blake, a 29-year-old Alliance scout, pressed himself against the palace's cool, metallic wall, his heart pounding beneath a form-fitting stealth suit that hugged his lean, muscular frame. His green eyes, sharp under tousled brown hair, scanned the holographic map flickering on his wrist computer. Admiral Harrington's briefing had been deceptively straightforward. Infiltrate the palace, steal the metamorph relic, and slip out unnoticed. Another day in paradise, Ryan muttered, flexing his shoulders as he prepared to move, the weight of his mission settling like a second skin. Eridesians were notorious for guarding their treasures, and the palace's security intel was maddeningly incomplete. The map pinpointed the relic deep within the central spire's royal chamber, protected by a labyrinth of corridors, living guards, and automated systems that could shred an intruder in seconds. Ryan scaled the wall with micro-adhesive gloves, the palace's architecture, a fusion of organic curves and mechanical precision, pulsing faintly under his touch, as if alive. He reached a narrow window, its frame etched with glowing runes, and peered inside. The corridor was empty, its bioluminescent panels casting an emerald glow across liquid metal floors that rippled with each step. He slipped through, landing silently, his training making him a shadow in the alien twilight. Ryan moved with practiced stealth, navigating the maze-like corridors. At a three-way junction, an Eridesian guard appeared, tall, slender, with shimmering blue skin and pointed ears framing silvery white hair, tied in a high braid. Her violet eyes scanned the hallway, missing Ryan as he pressed into an alcove, his breath controlled. Too easy, he whispered, a smirk tugging at his lips as the guard passed. The next challenge was a laser grid, its red beams faint but deadly. He tossed the disruptor from his belt, its pulse scrambling the sensors for a fleeting moment. Rolling through the gap, he landed in a crouch, heart racing as the beams reactivated behind him. The royal chamber's door loomed ahead, its surface carved with shifting patterns that seemed to watch him. A biometric lock required an Eridesian handprint. Ryan deployed a hacking device, its soft clicks cycling through combinations as he scanned for patrols. After a tense minute, the lock disengaged with a faint hum. He pushed the door open, wincing at its subtle creak, and stepped into a chamber that stole his breath. High ceilings arched above walls adorned with patterns that danced like living art. At the center, a pedestal of solid light held the metamorph relic, a palm-sized object resembling a seed, its iridescent surface swirling with colors that quickened as he approached. "Hello, you beauty," Ryan murmured, reaching for it. Time to make history. The chamber's lights flared, blinding him. As his vision cleared, Eridesian guards surrounded him, their energy rifles trained on his chest. At their center stood a figure from his briefing, Zinnia, ruler of Eretz. Her blue skin shimmered like a twilight sea, her silvery white hair cascading over a black leather outfit with metallic accents that hugged her lithe, powerful frame. Her deep violet eyes, flecked with silver, gleamed with amused curiosity, her pointed ears twitching slightly. "A human thief in my palace?" Her voice rang out, melodious yet commanding, with a hint of intrigue. Ryan straightened to his 6 feet 1 inch height, meeting her gaze with a grin. "I prefer cultural exchange specialist, Your Eminence." Zinnia's lips curved, her blue skin catching the light in a mesmerizing dance. "Most would tremble before me. Humans are different. Never been accused of blending in," Ryan quipped, his confidence masking the adrenaline spiking through him. His mission was compromised, but her curiosity was a lifeline he could exploit. "Take him to the special holding cell," Zinnia ordered, her violet eyes sparking with interest. "I'll interrogate him myself." The dungeon was no grim cell, but a fusion of ancient stone and futuristic tech, its gray walls pulsing with electronic veins that glowed faintly. Energy restraints hummed around Ryan's wrists, securing him to the wall with just enough slack to shift uncomfortably. Stripped of his stealth suit, he stood in tight leather pants and a sleeveless undershirt, his toned muscles flexing as he tested the bonds. "Well-crafted," he muttered, impressed despite his predicament. "Don't waste your strength," Zinnia's voice echoed as she entered, the door sealing silently behind her. She'd swapped her regal attire for a functional leather outfit, its metallic accents glinting as they caught the dim light. Her blue skin shimmered with subtle patterns, and her violet eyes studied him with unabashed fascination, like a scientist encountering a rare specimen. "I've never met a human," she said, circling him slowly, her movements graceful yet predatory. "Your species has a reputation. Warriors, explorers, troublemakers." Ryan held her gaze, refusing to flinch. "All glowing reviews, I hope." Zinnia's smile was sly, her blue cheeks hinting at a faint purple blush. "Depends on the source." She stopped inches away, her cool aura brushing against him. "Rumors speak of unique human traits." His pulse quickened, her tone igniting a primal spark. "Care to clarify, Your Eminence?" Her violet eyes darkened with bold curiosity. "Show me this human feature that doubles in size," she demanded, her fingers tugging his waistband down with scientific precision, exposing him. "Fascinating," she murmured, her gaze analytical yet intrigued. Ryan's face flushed, a mix of embarrassment and unexpected arousal surging through him. "Not how we do introductions on Earth," he managed, keeping his voice steady despite the compromising position. Zinnia tilted her head, her blue skin shimmering as she studied his reaction. You're embarrassed? On Eretz, the body is merely science, not shame. Cultural gap, Ryan said, seizing the opening. On Earth, we save this for after a few drinks. Her laugh was like wind chimes, bright and melodic. Humor as a defense, another human quirk. She released his waistband but stayed close, her scent, ozone and alien blossoms, filling his senses. Your adaptability intrigues me. So fragile in form. Yet you've claimed the stars with remarkable speed. We're full of surprises, Ryan replied, hyper-aware of her proximity, the coolness radiating from her blue skin. So, I've heard, Zinnia murmured, her gaze lingering on his form, from his broad shoulders to the pulse at his neck. Humans are said to embody passion, intensity, impulse. Her cool, blue fingers brushed his chest through the thin undershirt, feeling his racing heartbeat. Is this fear? Attraction? Both. Maybe you'll have to find out, Ryan challenged, his voice low, leaning as far as the restraint allowed. Her boldness was disarming, but he sensed an opportunity in her curiosity. Zinnia's fingers traced his jaw, sending shivers down his spine. First, tell me why the Alliance seeks the metamorph relic. Charm hadn't fully disarmed her, but her fascination was a lever. They called it a cultural treasure, symbolic, Ryan said honestly. A diplomatic gesture to strengthen ties. Zinnia's laugh was sharp, her blue skin flaring briefly with shifting patterns. By stealing it? A curious approach to diplomacy. I'm just a muscle, Ryan admitted, shrugging. They point, I go. Her violet eyes softened, assessing him with a mix of skepticism and intrigue. Your superiors don't grasp its true power. She summoned a hologram, the relic pulsing with energy tendrils that spiraled outward. The metamorph relic is a key to technology that restructures matter at a molecular level. Air into poison, space into barriers. In the wrong hands, it's a weapon of catastrophic potential. Ryan's mind raced, the Alliance's oversight dawning on him. Harrington had framed it as a trinket, not a galactic game-changer. You think that's their goal? He asked, genuinely surprised. Your reaction suggests otherwise, Zinnia said, her fingers resuming their exploration, trailing along his collarbone. Tell me the truth, Ryan Blake. They said it was symbolic, he insisted, meeting her gaze. But if the Vorix Imperium is after it, that's a problem we can't ignore. Zinnia's blue skin flared again, her patterns shifting with urgency. The Vorix have hunted it for centuries. If they claim it, entire worlds could burn. Then we stop them, Ryan said, his voice firm. Release me, Zinnia. I'll help you protect it. Her smile was enigmatic, her blue cheeks hinting at a deeper purple blush. Your pulse betrays no lie. She leaned closer, her breath cool against his ear. Do humans kiss? The question sparked a grin. Want to find out? He murmured, closing the distance as much as the restraint allowed. Their lips met, her cool, velvety mouth a thrilling contrast to his human warmth. She hesitated, analyzing the sensation, then deepened the kiss, her violet eyes wide with wonder as they parted. Electric, she breathed, her blue skin glowing faintly. Is it always so with humans? Only when there's chemistry, Ryan said, his smirk masking the heat coursing through him. Chemistry, Zinnia echoed, intrigued. We call it resonance of spirits. With deliberate slowness, she deactivated his restraints, the energy bonds vanishing. True understanding cannot be forced. Rubbing his wrists, Ryan stepped closer, their faces inches apart. Am I still your prisoner? That depends, Zinnia teased, her violet eyes dancing, on whether you wish to be free. Their next kiss was unrestrained, a fusion of cool blue skin and human heat, her patterns glowing brighter with each touch. Their exploration deepened, a dance of differences, her cooling physiology against his rising warmth, her silvery hair tangling in his fingers. Afterward, entwined on the chamber's floor, Zinnia traced the scars on his chest with her blue fingers. Your legends were not exaggerated, she murmured, her voice warm with satisfaction. Ryan chuckled, catching his breath, glad to uphold humanity's rep. But the relic's danger loomed in his mind, a shadow over their connection. We need to move, Zinnia. The Vorix won't wait. She rose, her leather outfit reforming with fluid grace, her blue skin shimmering in the dim light. There's something you must see, something few outsiders have witnessed. She pressed her palm against a wall, revealing a hidden panel that opened into a bioluminescent passage, its turquoise glow casting patterns across her blue face. Follow me. The tunnel sloped deep beneath the palace, the air thick with a mineral tang and an electric charge that raised the hairs on Ryan's neck. Secret passages, he noted, his voice echoing faintly. Every palace needs them. Built by my ancestors to protect the relic, Zinnia said, leading him with purpose. The Vorix grow bolder each cycle. Hiding is no longer enough. Ryan saw his opening, his scout instincts kicking in. Let me fake stealing the relic. If Vorix spies are on Eretz, they'll chase me. Your guards can track them to their command structure. Zinnia's violet eyes narrowed, her blue skin shimmering with contemplation. Brave or utterly reckless? Both, Ryan grinned, his confidence unwavering. It's how I roll. She studied him, her fingers brushing his arm, the contact sending a jolt through their budding resonance. Our connection, our resonance, makes me inclined to trust you. But this is a dangerous gamble. I'm good at those, Ryan said, his voice softening. And I don't want to see your world burn. The chamber they entered was vast, its ceiling a mosaic of glowing stones mimicking a starry sky. Concentric rings of liquid metal rotated around a pedestal, their hypnotic patterns reflecting across Zinnia's blue skin. The pedestal held a relic fragment, identical to the one above, but incomplete, its iridescent surface pulsing faintly. The metamorph engine, Zinnia explained, her voice reverent. The relic you sought is one of 3 pieces, scattered by the ancients to prevent misuse. It was designed to heal worlds, restore ecosystems, purify poisoned atmospheres, repair space-time itself. But in the wrong hands, it could weaponize matter itself. Ryan whistled low, circling the pedestal. Smart move, splitting it up. Why show me this? He asked, taking her hand, her blue fingers cool against his warmth. This is bigger than my mission. Zinnia's violet eyes met his, steady and resolute. The Vorax won't stop until they have all 3 pieces. Humans are impulsive, innovative, fiercely protective. We need allies, Ryan, and I believe you're more than a thief. His plan solidified, years of tactical experience aligning with their shared goal. Craft a replica relic. I'll draw the Vorax out. Let them think I've got the real thing. Your forces can track them, and we'll hit their leadership before they know what's happening. Zinnia nodded, her blue skin glowing with determination. A replica can be made to fool their scanners for a time. It's risky but cunning. I'll trust you, Ryan Blake. 3 days later, in a palace workshop buzzing with activity, Eridesian craftsmen presented a replica relic, its iridescent surface nearly indistinguishable from the original, its energy signature meticulously calibrated. It'll pass cursory scans for 12 hours, Craftsman Talon said, his blue skin shimmering as he handed the containment box to Zinnia. After that, the signature degrades. More than enough, Ryan said, securing the box to his enhanced stealth suit, now upgraded with Eridesian tech that blurred his outline and masked his heat signature. His nights with Zinnia had deepened their bond, her scientific curiosity about his rising body heat and her cooling physiology weaving into a genuine connection that transcended species. Each touch, each shared moment. Her blue fingers tracing his scars, his hands and her silvery hair, had built a resonance that felt both alien and profoundly human. You're sure about this? Zinnia asked, her violet eyes searching his. Born for it, Ryan replied, winking. Your guards know the plan? Extraction point is the abandoned temple in the eastern quarter, she confirmed, her voice steady but laced with concern. They'll track you from a distance unless you signal. She hesitated, then stepped forward, embracing him in front of her craftsman, a rare public display that drew startled glances. Her blue skin was cool against his cheek, her scent of ozone and blooms grounding him. Come back to me, Ryan, she whispered. He held her tightly, memorizing her touch. We've got unfinished business, Your Eminence. Their kiss was fierce, a promise sealed in the face of danger, as her guards whispered among themselves. Ryan activated his suit's cloaking and slipped into the Eridesian night, the twin stars watching. The city's air carried a metallic bite as Ryan moved through its shadowed streets, deliberately letting surveillance systems glimpse him with the fake relic. His wrist computer buzzed. His escape had been reported, the bait set. Within 20 minutes, his enhanced sensors detected movement. 8 Vorax agents converging, their gaunt, insectoid forms moving with unnatural fluidity, their pallid skin and elongated limbs stark against the city's glow. Big turnout, Ryan whispered into his comm, his pulse quickening. Too big. Zinnia's voice came through cool but tense. Our sensors caught a Vorax command shuttle entering the atmosphere, diplomatic class, bypassing standard vectors. Ryan's blood chilled. They sent a heavy hitter. Change to extraction point beta, Zinnia urged, her voice sharp. This is too dangerous. No way, Ryan countered, his mind racing with tactical possibilities. This is our shot to take out their leadership. Central Plaza now? Bring the real relic. You're insane, Zinnia said, but he caught a trace of admiration in her tone. We're moving. The Central Plaza was a vast expanse ringed by ancient monuments, their twisted forms glowing under bioluminescent lamps that cast long shadows. Ryan took cover behind a spire of metal and stone, its surface etched with runes older than Eridesian history. His sensors tracked 12 Vorax agents now, forming a perimeter with predatory precision. The command shuttle descended, its angular, light-absorbing form blocking the stars as it settled at the plaza's edge. From its ramp emerged Executive Krell, a 7-foot Vorax in articulated armor that seemed to drink the light, his movements deliberate, powerful, a predator certain of its dominance. That's Krell, Zinnia's voice warned through the comm, military governor of this sector. This is unprecedented. Ryan grinned grimly, adjusting his position. Perfect. We got their attention. Krell's amplified voice echoed across the plaza. Human, surrender the relic. Your death will be swift. Ryan stepped out, the pouch with the fake relic visible at his hip. Not much of an offer, he called, his voice steady. How about we negotiate? Krell's helmet tilted, a flicker of surprise. The relic belongs to the Imperium by ancient claim. Eridesians see it differently, Ryan taunted, stalling as he sensed Zinnia's forces closing in. Above, Alliance dropped ships decloaked, their weapons locking onto the Voryx shuttle, their hulls gleaming in the twilight. Zinnia appeared at the plaza's edge, her battle armor accentuating her lithe form, her staff crackling with energy. Her blue skin glowed fiercely, her violet eyes locked on Krell. "Executive Krell, you violate Eridesian sovereignty," she declared, her voice carrying regal authority. "Withdraw, or face the consequences." Krell's posture radiated contempt. "You're outnumbered, outgunned, and soon extinct, Eridesian." Ryan joined her, his suit humming with power. "Check your math, pal." Krell activated a device on his gauntlet, and the plaza erupted into chaos. Voryx agents attacked, their movements synchronized and lethal, their blades and energy weapons slicing through the air. Krell lunged for Zinnia, his speed blinding, but Ryan intercepted, his suit's enhancements absorbing the bone-rattling blow. "Humans meddle where they don't belong." Krell spat, his neck strike a blur. "It's kind of our thing," Ryan grunted, countering with a strike to Krell's knee joint, exploiting a weak point Zinnia had briefed him on during their nights together. Zinnia fought with lethal grace, her staff a whirlwind of energy that felled two agents in a fluid, dance-like motion, her blue skin shimmering with each precise strike. Ryan took a hit to the ribs, pain flaring, but his suit's systems surged back online, amplifying his strength. Krell drew a wicked blade, its edge humming with dark energy. "Your sentiment for this female clouds your judgment," he taunted. "It sharpens it," Ryan countered, landing a blow that cracked Krell's chest plate. Across the plaza, Zinnia dispatched another agent, her violet eyes locking onto Ryan with a fierce coordination that felt like an extension of their resonance. Krell, sensing their synergy, threw a device toward the plaza's center. A pulse bomb, Ryan realized with dread. He tackled Zinnia to the ground, shielding her with his body as the device detonated, releasing an energy wave that disabled all electronics, including his suit and the Alliance ship's weapons. In the chaos, Krell ripped the pouch from Ryan's hip, his triumph palpable. At last, he growled, opening it. His posture shifted to rage as he saw the fake relic. "A deception? Did you think we'd bring the real one?" Zinnia asked, rising gracefully as systems flickered back online, her blue skin glowing defiantly. Krell roared, charging them both, his movements now frantic. Ryan and Zinnia moved as one, their resonance guiding their actions. Where Ryan was raw strength, Zinnia was precision, her staff disabling Krell's leg with a pinpoint strike. As he stumbled, Ryan delivered an enhanced uppercut, the suit's power sending Krell crashing to the ground, his helmet fracturing to reveal a pallid, humanoid face with black eyes. Around them, the battle ended. Voryx agents surrendered or fled, only to be captured by Eridesian forces and Alliance Marines from the drop ships. Krell gasped. "The Imperium will come in force." "Let them," Zinnia said, standing beside Ryan, her blue hand resting on his arm. "Erids and the Alliance stand united." Ryan caught her eye, a grin breaking through his exhaustion. "Alliance, huh? That official?" "It will be," Zinnia said, her violet eyes sparkling. "After I speak with Harrington. We have much to discuss. A formal alliance, a shared defense." Dawn broke over the plaza, its golden light bathing the ancient stones and Zinnia's blue skin in a warm glow. Ryan pulled her close, ignoring the aches from the fight. "Hell of a first date," he teased, his voice rough but warm. Zinnia's laugh was musical, her silvery hair catching the sunlight. "Is this a human date? Danger, victory, and chemistry? All the essentials," Ryan said, brushing a strand of hair from her blue cheek. "What's next for us?" Her fingers traced his jaw, her touch cool and grounding. "You stay, Ryan Blake, as Alliance liaison to Erids. For cultural exchange, of course." "Nightly briefings?" he murmured, their lips brushing in a kiss that felt like a promise, their resonance humming softly between them. "For the galaxy," Zinnia replied, her blue skin glowing as they embraced under the rising suns. Their connection, born in a stolen moment amid danger, had forged an alliance that would reshape the stars. The metamorph relic remained safe, its secrets guarded, but the true treasure was the bond between a human and an Eridesian, a resonance of spirits that promised a future where their worlds stood together against the void. Months later, the Palace of Varieties buzzed with activity, its spires now a hub for Eridesian Alliance cooperation. Ryan, officially the Alliance liaison, stood in a diplomatic chamber, his stealth suit replaced by a tailored uniform that still felt foreign. Zinnia, radiant in her regal attire, her blue skin shimmering under crystal chandeliers, coordinated with Alliance and Eridesian leaders. Their resonance had deepened, a subtle hum that let them anticipate each other's thoughts during negotiations, turning them into a formidable team. The Voryx threat lingered, but Krell's capture had yielded intelligence that crippled their operations in the sector. The replica relic had been a masterstroke, exposing their spies and forcing the Imperium to retreat, for now. Zinnia's council, initially wary of Ryan, now saw the value of their alliance, especially as trade and tech exchanges flourished. The Metamorph engine's secrets were shared selectively, its potential for healing worlds sparking joint projects to restore war-torn planets. That evening, on a balcony overlooking Erid's twinkling capital, Ryan and Zinnia stood together, the twin stars casting their violet glow. "We did it," Zinnia said, her blue hand in his. "The Voryx are reeling, and our worlds are stronger together. We're not done, Ryan said, his green eyes warm. The Imperium's still out there, and I'm not leaving your side. Zinnia's violet eyes sparkled, her patterns glowing softly. Good. I'd hate to lose my favorite human. She held up a small object, an obsidian ring inlaid with iridesian crystals, a blend of their traditions. On Eretz, we seal bonds with such tokens. Will you wear it? Ryan slid the ring onto his finger, his heart swelling. On Earth, we call this a proposal. I'm in, Zinnia. For you, for Eretz, for the galaxy. Their kiss was a fusion of worlds, her cool blue skin against his warmth, their resonance a quiet promise. The stars above seemed to pulse in time with their bond, a testament to a connection that had turned a thief's mission into a galactic alliance. As they stood together, the future stretched before them, challenging, uncertain, but theirs to shape, hand in hand, across the stars. The twin stars of Eretz hung low in the violet sky, their light glinting off the crystalline spires of the Palace of Varieties, now a beacon of hope in a galaxy teetering on the edge of war. 3 months had passed since Ryan Blake, the Alliance scout, and Zinnia, ruler of Eretz, had forged an unlikely bond in the heat of battle against Executive Krell. Their victory in the Central Plaza had cemented a tentative alliance between the human-led Alliance and the Eridesian people, but the shadow of the Vorix Imperium loomed larger than ever. Ryan stood on the palace's grand balcony, his 6 feet 1 inch frame clad in a hybrid uniform, Alliance tactical gear infused with Eridesian metallic runes that shimmered like Zinnia's blue skin. His green eyes scanned the bustling capital below, where human engineers worked alongside Eridesian craftsmen, fortifying the city against the inevitable counterstrike. At 29, Ryan was no longer just a thief. He was the Alliance liaison, a role that felt as foreign as the alien world he now called home. Zinnia approached, her blue skin glowing faintly in the twilight, her silvery white hair braided with crystal threads that caught the star's hue. Her black leather outfit, now adorned with diplomatic insignia, hugged her lithe, powerful frame, but her violet eyes held a weight that hadn't been there during their first encounter. Their resonance of spirits, the Eridesian term for the psychic and emotional bond they discovered in the dungeon, hummed softly between them, a constant thread that let Ryan feel her emotions, determination, worry, and a flicker of warmth when her gaze met his. The Vorix are moving, she said, her melodious voice tinged with urgency as she summoned a holographic map from a wrist device. Krell's interrogation confirmed they've located the third piece of the metamorph relic. It's on a derelict station in the Outer Rim, near Vega. Ryan's hand found hers, his warmth contrasting her cool blue skin, their resonance amplifying the touch into a shared pulse of resolve. The metamorph engine, with its power to heal or destroy worlds, was the key to their alliance, and the Vorix's obsession. With 2 pieces secured on Eretz, the third could complete the engine, or in the wrong hands, unleash chaos. We can't let them get it, Ryan said, his scout instincts kicking in. I'll lead a team. The Alliance has dropped ships ready, and with our resonance, we'll outmaneuver them. Zinnia's violet eyes searched his, her patterns shifting with a mix of admiration and concern. We go together, she declared, her voice firm. The relic responds to resonance. Our bond may be the key to securing it. Besides, she added, her tone softening, I can't trust you not to peek at ancient tech without me. Ryan chuckled, pulling her close, their lips meeting in a kiss that sent electric shivers through their bond. Her cool, velvety mouth against his warmth, her blue skin glowing faintly with patterns that danced like living art. Wouldn't dream of it, Your Eminence, he teased, his voice rough with affection. Their resonance had deepened since the plaza, a subtle hum that let them anticipate each other's thoughts, making them a formidable team in council chambers and combat drills alike. But the weight of their mission pressed heavily. Failure meant the Vorix could weaponize the engine, threatening billions. The Eridesian council chamber buzzed with tension as Ryan and Zinnia briefed their joint team. Elder Clyra, a wizened Eridesian with intricate blue patterns across her skin, leaned forward, her violet eyes skeptical. This human's recklessness endangers us all, she said, her voice sharp. The relic must remain on Eretz, not chased across the stars. Zinnia's blue skin flared, her patterns pulsing with authority. Ryan's plan exposed Krell and crippled the Vorix's spies. His instincts, combined with our resonance, make him essential. Admiral Harrington, joining via hologram from an Alliance cruiser, nodded. Blake's unorthodox, but he gets results. Our scans confirm Vorix cruisers at Vega. We need that relic before they do. Ryan met Clyra's gaze. I'm not here to steal, Elder. I'm here to protect. The Vorix won't stop, and neither will we. Clyra's patterns softened, though her expression remained stern. Very well, but the relic's power requires a ritual of resonance to activate. Only a bonded pair can wield it safely. Zinnia's hand tightened in Ryan's, their bond humming with shared understanding. We'll prepare, she said, her voice steady. The ritual will be our last resort. As the meeting ended, Ryan pulled Zinnia aside in a quiet alcove, the city's lights twinkling below. A ritual, he asked, his green eyes curious. Sounds intense. Zinnia's blue fingers traced his jaw, her touch grounding him. The ritual of resonance binds 2 spirits fully, amplifying their connection to channel the engine's power. It's dangerous, Some pairs don't survive the neural strain. Ryan felt a flicker of her fear through their bond, but also her resolve. We've faced worse, he said, kissing her forehead. Besides, I'm not losing you now. Her laugh was soft, her violet eyes warm. You humans and your defiance of fate. The Ether's Edge, a sleek fusion of Alliance and Eridesian tech, launched from Erid's orbital dock, its crystalline hull shimmering under the twin stars. Ryan piloted from the bridge, Zinnia beside him, her blue skin reflecting the console's turquoise glow. Their team, 10 Alliance Marines and 8 Eridesian Guardians, led by Captain Vren, a blue-skinned warrior with a scar across one pointed ear, prepped in a hold. The ship's cloaking engaged as they approached Vega's derelict station, a crumbling relic of an ancient civilization orbiting a dying star. Scans show 3 Voryx cruisers, Zinnia said, her violet eyes on the hollow display. Energy signatures in the station's core. Likely the relic. Ryan's hands danced over the controls, their resonance letting him feel her Eridesian perception of subtle energy shifts. There, she thought, her mental voice sharp, guiding him to a docking bay shielded from Voryx sensors. They're excavating the central chamber. The Ether's Edge docked silently, its hull blending with the station's shadows. Ryan and Zinnia led the strike team through corroded corridors, the air heavy with dust and static. Voryx patrols loomed, their gaunt, insectoid forms moving with eerie precision, their pallid skin stark against the station's decay. Ryan signaled a halt, his bond with Zinnia letting him sense a patrol before it rounded a corner. Her staff crackled, disabling a guard with a silent pulse, while Ryan's blaster dropped another, their movements seamless. Deeper in, the central chamber glowed with a relic's energy, a third fragment pulsing on a pedestal of warped metal, surrounded by Voryx scientists in armored suits. At their center stood Governor Thal, a towering Voryx with segmented armor that absorbed light, his black eyes gleaming with cold intelligence. That's Thal, Zinnia whispered, her blue skin tense with recognition. Krell's superior. He's ruthless. We take the relic, Ryan said, his voice low. Hit hard, hit fast. Their team struck, chaos erupting as blasters and energy staffs lit the chamber. Ryan tackled a Voryx guard, snapping its elongated arm, while Zinnia's staff felled 2 scientists in a whirl of blue-skin grace. Their resonance amplified every move. Ryan dodged a blade he couldn't see, guided by Zinnia's perception, while she tapped his tactical instincts to flank Thal. The governor activated a device, the relic's energy flaring dangerously, sending tremors through the station. You're too late, Thal roared, his voice distorted through his helmet. The engine will serve the Imperium. Ryan lunged for the relic, but Thal's blade grazed his side, pain searing through him. Zinnia's staff struck Thal's arm, forcing him back, and together they seized the fragment, its iridescence sinking with their bond in a surge of warmth. The chamber shook as Voryx reinforcements poured in, their numbers overwhelming. We're pinned, Vren shouted, his blue skin bloodied as he fired. Fall back, Ryan ordered, clutching the relic as Zinnia covered him, her staff a blur of energy. Alliance Marines laid down suppressive fire, but the station's structure groaned, threatening collapse. Their resonance pulsed, guiding them through the chaos to an escape shaft. The Ether's Edge awaited, its engines humming as they boarded, Voryx cruisers firing on their position. Ryan piloted them out, Zinnia's hand on his shoulder, her blue fingers steadying him despite the pain in his side. We've got it, she said, securing the relic in a containment pod. But Thal escaped. He'll be back, Ryan grunted, dodging a cruiser salvo. The Ether's Edge cloaked, slipping into hyperspace as the station crumbled behind them. Back on Eretz, the palace's medical bay was a haven of bioluminescent crystals, their turquoise light dancing across Zinnia's blue skin as she bandaged Ryan's wound. Her violet eyes were soft with concern, but her touch was steady, her patterns glowing faintly. You're reckless, she murmured, her breath cool against his skin. You love it, Ryan teased, wincing as she tightened the bandage. Their resonance hummed, her worry mingling with his defiance, a balance that had saved them on Vega. The council chamber was tense as they presented the third relic piece. Elder Clara's patterns pulsed with reluctant approval. You secured it, but the Voryx know its location now. They'll strike Eretz directly. Harrington's hologram flickered. Alliance fleets are mobilizing, but we need the engine operational to counter their numbers. Zinnia's blue hand rested on the relic's pod. The ritual of resonance is our only option. It will bind our spirits fully, letting us activate the engine to heal or defend. Clara's violet eyes narrowed. The ritual is dangerous. Your bond may not survive the strain. Ryan felt Zinnia's fear through their resonance, but also her resolve. He squeezed her hand, his voice firm. We've faced death before. We'll do it again, for Eretz, for the Alliance. Later, in their private chambers, Zinnia stood by a viewport, her blue skin reflecting the twin stars. Ryan wrapped his arms around her, their bond a warm hum. You scared? He asked, his lips brushing her pointed ear. Terrified, she admitted, turning to face him, her violet eyes vulnerable. But with you, I feel whole. Their kiss was slow, deep, her cool blue skin against his warmth, patterns glowing brighter with each touch. We'll make it, Ryan whispered, his hands tangling in her silvery hair. "We got resonance, remember?" She laughed, her purple blush deepening. Humans and their defiance. The palace's ritual chamber was transformed, its walls draped with glowing crystals that pulsed in sync with the relic fragments, now arranged on a pedestal of liquid light. Ryan and Zinnia stood at the center, clad in ceremonial robes, his bare chest marked with Eridesian runes, her blue skin adorned with shimmering patterns that mirrored his. Elder Clyra chanted, her voice weaving a melodic cadence that resonated with the crystals, amplifying their bond. Vren, now head of security, stood by the door, his scars stark against his blue skin. "Vor's cruisers are 6 hours out," he reported. "Whatever you're doing, make it quick." Zinnia's violet eyes met Ryan's, their resonance a steady pulse. "Ready," she thought. "Always," he replied, their hands clasped. Clyra's chance peaked, and their lips met, their bond surging into a blinding fusion. Their consciousness merged, a torrent of emotions. Zinnia's ancient Eridesian grace, Ryan's human fire, stretching across the stars. They sensed the Vorix fleet, a hive of aggression, and the engine's potential, a vast well of creation and destruction. "We don't destroy them," Zinnia's mental voice urged. "We transform their network, give them choice." Ryan visualized it, his tactical mind shaping a new pattern, not to shatter, but to reconfigure. The effort was agonizing, pain lancing through their bond like plasma fire. Memories flashed. Ryan's childhood on Earth's war-torn colonies, Zinnia's centuries guarding Arids, threatening to overwhelm them. "Stay with me," Ryan projected, his mental voice raw. "Never leaving," Zinnia replied, her resolve a beacon. With a final surge, they released the pattern, a ripple of energy that reached the Vorix fleet. The hive mind fractured, ships halting as individual consciousnesses emerged, confused but free. They collapsed, foreheads pressed together, their bond intact but changed. Less overwhelming, more intimate, like a steady flame. The runes on Ryan's skin and Zinnia's patterns faded to faint scars, a testament to their union. The crystals dimmed, their light softening. Vren rushed forward. "What happened?" "We rewired them," Ryan rasped, clutching Zinnia's blue hand. "They're individuals now." Zinnia's violet eyes glowed. The fleet stopped. "They're communicating, not attacking." Clyra's patterns pulsed with awe. "You've done what our ancestors couldn't. You freed the Vorix." Harrington's hologram appeared, his voice gruff. "Vega's colonies are safe. You two just rewrote the rulebook." The palace became a hub of renewal. Vorix ships, now independent, negotiated with the Alliance, some surrendering, others scattering to redefine themselves. Ryan and Zinnia stood in the command center, her blue skin radiant under hollow displays, his arm around her waist. Their resonance, now a gentle hum, felt like an extension of their senses, a quiet reassurance. Clyra approached, her ancient eyes softening. "Your bond is a bridge between our peoples. We lead the effort to rebuild." Zinnia's patterns pulsed defiantly. "We're not symbols. We'll help, but on our terms." Ryan nodded. What she said, "We've got a galaxy to fix, but we're doing it together." That night, on their balcony, the twin stars cast violet light across Zinnia's blue skin. Ryan handed her a small box, an Earth-style ring of obsidian and Eridesian crystal. "Marry me," he said, his voice soft. "Human style, Eridesian style, whatever feels right." Tears shimmered in her violet eyes as she slipped it on. "Yes," she whispered, their resonance brimming with joy. Their kiss sealed the promise, the stars witnessing a union that transcended species. 6 months later, Arids thrived as a center of galactic cooperation. Ryan and Zinnia's home overlooked the capital's glowing spires, filled with the scent of alien blooms. Zinnia's hand rested on her abdomen, a faint curve hinting at their child, a hybrid born of their resonance, a miracle defying biology. "Lyra," Zinnia said, her blue skin glowing. "For a girl, after my mother's star." "Thomas," Ryan added, his voice thick. "For a boy, after my dad." Their bond pulsed with love, fear, and hope. The council scans confirmed the child's health, a blend of human and Eridesian DNA, suggesting ancient shared ancestry. "She, or he, changes everything," Zinnia said, her violet eyes bright. Ryan kissed her, their resonance a quiet song. "We changed everything," he said, "from a thief in your palace to a family." Zinnia laughed, her blue fingers tracing his scars. "Best mistake I ever let you make." As they stood together, the galaxy stretched before them, a future of challenges, but also of unity, forged by a bond that had rewritten the stars.